It's a cliche phrase, but would you say Justin Bieber is of the culture?
No, and that's what they were trying to say on the Joe Budden podcast. They were trying to
Hmm.
say, "Oh, he grew up around black people, or he was like this."
Yeah.
They're just like, "Says who? Like, like who told you this?" Because just because you see him doing that, don't mean that's what his background is. Like, that don't mean that hip hop is his background, or like that don't mean he's of the culture. I don't think he's of the culture personally.
Is there a white R&B singer that you think is of the culture?
Is he an R&B singer? First off, I don't consider him R&B.
What do you consider him?
Pop.
A pop? That's it?
I don't consider him R&B. Does he make R&B music? He might take aspects of R&B,
That's a good question. That's a good.
because he's still like, was
It
R
does
was
he?
R was Elvis a gospel artist? Like, Elvis took portions of gospel music and
Yeah.
incorporated into his music, but I don't think anybody would say Elvis was a gospel artist.
Well, today's R&B, would you say that he fits
No,
with the Chris Browns of the world?
and I don't listen to enough of his music to have a valid opinion on that. But from what I've heard, everything I've heard sounds very poppy.
Mm.
I don't hear R&B unless you think that for the fact that he's singing. Like, but even his singing style, I wouldn't consider it R&B.
Well, like you said, you haven't heard much, so it could just be the pop hits you heard, that sell, and his B sides could be R&B, maybe.
I I I would never know because I'm never going to listen to it. I'm never going to listen to a whole Justin Bieber album. I don't care what's going on. You'll never find me listening to a whole Justin Bieber album.
Do you think he doesn't have talent?
That's very subjective. Like, I can't, like, there are people that I don't think are talented. I'm not going to say he doesn't have talented. He's just not my cup of tea. Like, I would never just willingly listen to his music.
Because who discovered him? Usher?
Usher,
Do they have a song together?
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't even know.
I really, I really, really wouldn't. I think he got a song with Ludacris, but I don't know if he has a song with Usher. Probably.
But it's safe to say you would consider Usher an R&B artist that does
I,
pop music occasionally.
Usher's an R&B artist. Like, for the latter part of his career, he's been more pop, but Usher's an R&B artist.
And he signed a pop artist. Well, I always thought, he respected what he saw in Justin Bieber, but maybe it was just a money play.
He saw an opportunity. Like, that's all he was. Like,
He
and you
could
see how
have seen the talent, though.
but you see how successful he became, because who was he going to cater to? He's going to cater. Come on, you know what the audience he was going to cater to.
But I'm sure it's a lot of Justin Biebers out there, that could have catered to that audience and the pop
But
stars.
it just depends on who. But it depends on, and look at who discovered him. He had the backing of influential people. Like, if I discovered Justin Bieber, he probably wouldn't have a career as big as he had. Usher discovered him.
I think people will call Justin Bieber a once in a lifetime type artist.
Explain what that means, please.
So, and I'm not going to use names like Michael Jackson, but say Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake,
pop stars.
Yeah, once in a lifetime.
Who may not be that. Was Britney Spears talented?
At what? At pop music? That's right. The question. That's
what I'm saying. Like, talented is subjective, because it's just like everyone has the talent. I don't think music is her talent.
Like, it is, though. It is.
But it's not.
But that's what. Who is better than her in her field?
A lot of people. But what are you talking about as far as popularity? She has popularity for reasons other than her music.
The music, the song, like who, like.
So what was her most popular song? What was her most popular song?
Oops, I Did It Again.
Do you think that was a good song?
Yeah, it's a good song.
No, it wasn't.
It's
No, it wasn't. You might say
it's
it was a
catchy.
hit. You might say it was a hit. You might say it's a popular record. And looking
Okay.
down the line now, like after years have passed because of how popular it was, you might say it's a good song. But go back and look at the song. Look at her singing the song. Look at all the stuff about the song. It's not a good record. It's catchy, like you said, but it's not a good record.
It's a hit though. It's
There are hits that are not good songs.
so you're saying it's only a hit because they decide to make it a hit.
Do you think that she can sing? Like hearing that record, do you think that you could sing that record?
No, no.
Because no, she's not singing. She's not singing on the song.
But we're not talking about singers. We're not talking about who's the best singer.
But you
who's the
said
best
music
pop
is her
artist.
talent.
Pop music is music.
But you said music is her talent. I would disagree with that.
So competition wise, who would you say in her class was better
At what?
at pop music? Since we're judging her.
So like I don't know what that means at pop music because Christina is in her class and Christina's a better singer than she is.
But she don't got those hits.
I would honestly say that Christina Aguilera put out better songs than Britney Spears. They might not have been as
big.
popular.
Mm-hmm.
They were still popular, but I think she put out better songs. Honestly, she probably doesn't have like Christina Aguilera probably has more big records than Britney Spears. Not bigger records, but more big records than Britney Spears.
So don't you feel like they were all competing for like the same ghostwriters at that time for the same songs almost? Like NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, like they were whoever got it first.
Maybe.
Like Oops Baby I Did It Again. If Christina would have got it, it would have been a hit. Whoever got it.
It wouldn't have been, I don't think it would have been as big for Christina though.
You don't think so? If they did the same play.
Well, I hate the Genie in the Bottle record. Like it could have it could have been a hit. It could have been a hit. I could see Britney Spears doing Genie in the Bottle.
Anything she would have touched. So it's a lot of hype there.
It's because of popularity though.
Popularity, but it's like, some talent. Don't tell me anyone could have just did this song and
listen. And like we had this conversation before. At that time, if you had the look, they can make you a star. You don't have to have talent. If you had the look, they can make you a star. Britney had the look, she became a star. She had no talent. Please stop that.
I won't say no talent. So if they gave that song to, say, JoJo, do you think she would have been as big as Britney Spears?
JoJo is not in that same class of music. JoJo can sing, by the way. JoJo can actually sing. But like JoJo, I don't think, even when she came out, I don't think her singles were like hit songs.
Probably not. Probably. It made some
like
noise,
she had a record with Papoose, I think. No, it wasn't JoJo. That was Jeannie Ortega. I don't know why I know that girl's name, but I know it because Papoose had a fire verse on that song.
I never heard this song.
Yo, it was right after Touch It remix where Papoose was on fire. Like everybody was just like, yo, who was that dude? You wasn't like that?
He definitely was.
He had the best verse on the Touch It remix.
Yeah, I would say X had a hard verse as well.
But Papoose had the most memorable verse. Like five boroughs of death.
That's what killed it.
That killed it. So this was after that where people were just like he was a hot commodity at that point. So he was on this pop record, and yo, like he killed it.
Who is this, Jeannie Ortega?
Yeah,
never heard of this person.
I just remember you can't. They say you can have your cake and eat it too. Tell me what's the meaning? What's the point of me having cake if I can't eat it? She did never win, my friend. You like creeping. Like I know his whole verse off of that because Papoose was dope.
He good with the wordplay, but it's like he rhymed like Cass almost followed the same formula for most of his
I
songs.
agree with that. I agree with that. It's too wordy.
But it still works though. Till this day, like he still kind of it works
I don't think it works. Papoose never really became what he could have been.
because that album never came out. The what is it? Narcerima Dream?
I don't know the name.
American Dream backwards.
But you know when like you remember Alphabetical Slaughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like I knew all the way up until like the letter N or something like that. Like I used to listen to that, John, because it was dope. But I said like people like what Cam said on the interview. He said like I'll probably put Jay over Nas because he got more club records. Because he was talking to this girl, and she was just like, I don't want to have to think too much. I don't want to have to think when I'm listening to music. I just want to listen to music. And so I think like Papoose has that sort of same thing. Like it's too wordy. Like I got to do too much thinking. I can't just enjoy the song.
Yeah, but he never had a single though. I don't think.
Alphabetical Slaughter.
That wasn't. I thought that was a mixtape. Like that couldn't have been a single.
That's the only single I know.
Yeah, he wasn't. Some things happen for the best because he clearly wasn't meant to be like one of those artists that make.
I can't say that. I can't say that. Like if given the right record and stuff, like he could. I think he could.
A club song, like Touch It.
I don't know, but like he's married to Remy. Like they could have threw him on the All the Way Up remix or something, or like on the regular record. Like Fat Joe makes enough club records. He don't ever say, "Yo, let me put Papoose on this song."
Because you see, Papoose approached the track. In my opinion, he approaches the track like I'm trying to tear it down. Like
yeah.
Like lyrically, I'm gonna tear it.
Right. And people don't care about that right now.
You can't tear a track down in 8 bars. You gotta. It takes but the Touch It remix, he did kill it though, real quick. So.
But you had Lloyd Banks on there who was getting it in. Like everybody was giving out bars on that one. But everybody gave bars on that. Mary J. Blige gave bars on that. Yeah, like that was his type of record where people are actually rhyming on it.
Busta probably had the worst verse on them. No. Missy had the.
I don't think. I mean, all the verses are memorable verses.
Digga, I didn't love hers.
But she's Violator. Like she had to be on it.
Yeah. Everybody did their thing. It's hard to say. It was between Papoose and X.
Yeah,
and then Lloyd Banks.
I would give it to Pat.
Then Mary J, then Missy, then Rod Digga, then Busta.
You gave him last on his own song?
Yeah.
You gave him the Craig Mack treatment.
It's unfortunate. The original was good. He did good, but he ain't really bring it on the second one like that.
The remix was legendary. I think it's one of the it's probably one of the most, it's top 10 legendary like remix for me.
M-Verse was whack. Did you ever hear that?
On Touch It?
They brought him out at the BET Awards.
Right. No, I did hear it. I didn't even, it was too much going on for me to even like understand what he was saying.
Yeah, he started off with Busta like heel up, wheel up, bring it back, come rewind. Then he started all right. That as soon as he did that, I'm like, yo, he ruined it. Like it was a waste.
Every time you say it, I remember it. Like I remember that opening. And then everybody in the crowd went crazy when M came out. But like you said, it's the same treatment. Like M is too wordy. So like everybody loved Touch It. So when that's coming on the BET, and you got like that's the time when everybody came on stage. Yeah. So it's like the energy is going crazy. And then I mean, I guess he still kept up the energy.
Yeah, but it was,
you're not gonna remember what he said. And I'm never gonna go listen to it on like just in my headphones, just listen to the M-Verse on Touch It.
It was whack, but yeah, I mean, that's how it goes with remixes. He ruined the Lean Back remix. I won't say he ruined it, but he was on that. He didn't
He
do
was on
great. He didn't
no,
do
he was
great.
on the Lean Back remix because he said, "No, I'll get on it if Mace gets on it."
And once again,
'Cause-
that's a club song. You playing I'm on a club song, like why?
But Mace did good on it.
Did he though?
You don't think so? For that time, what Mace was doing, it ain't the Mace of today. Like the Mace of today is going to curse on the record. He's going to say whatever he wants on the record. Back then, he was more conscious because he was just coming out of the whole pastor thing.
Yeah.
And so, like, he was just like, I told you on Welcome Back, he's just like, yo, we got the women in here, but we're not degrading them. Even
Yeah.
they got their clothes on, all this stuff. He wasn't cursing because he was still in, I guess, pastor mode. I think he might have still had a congregation at that point. But I think he did good. I think he did all right.
He only had like one hot bar on there. At the end, he was like, "I walk with God. I got the scars."
I got the scars.
That was hot. That was a cool little. But the rest of the verse was.
But Mace knows how to ride a beat.
Yeah.
M, like you see what M. A lot of his stuff even now is either off beat or like sort of like battle rap style sort of. It's like it's not.
But that's
it don't complement. It don't complement the beat.
That's his thing, though.
And so that asks the question: is that his thing by choice? Because if you ask M to be on your record, you sort of have to like do what he wants you to do. Like you're not gonna have him on a song and say, like, no, on this, like he's gonna do the verse the way he wants to do the verse. So like on them records, like they either slow down the beat or they change the beat entirely for him. And so I'm like, just ride the beat. I don't know if he knows.
He knows how to.
He knows how to, but I'm just like, why don't you?
For a while, he was doing that with his features where
it changed up the whole song.
And he was just like, he was being too wordy, like you said, like just trying to tear it down so much that it worked for some songs, like the Big Sean song, but it didn't work after a while.
It didn't work for a couple records, like
a couple of years actually.
Like and like a lot of people be like, yo, M killed that verse. And I'm like, but it ruined the song.
I'm trying to think. But it worked for some. But then that comedian started making fun of him. This comedian, literally making fun of his flow. Like, oh, Eminem rap like this. He started out like real serious and going to that like Cookie Monster turn, like sound like real crazy. And he listened and he stopped that. Like that wasn't working.
I don't know. I don't have much thought on that, but like,
do you think he had a good verse on the Fat Joe song where he was dissing Nick Cannon?
It was on a recent Fat Joe album, right?
Yeah, something recent.
I might have only listened to it a couple times.
It was a real light beat. It was like, Lord knows. I think that may have been the song, like Lord knows something.
It was okay. But my thing too is like, you try to fit so many words inside of like a bar, and it's just like some things can go over your head because it's just like, all right, do I gotta listen to this 10 times to like appreciate it? Because I say Jay for instance or Nas, like they'll spit records, but it'll ride to the beat. Like I got it. Like it's just like jumbling up all this stuff in one, and it's just like I can't even. Like I can enjoy it for what he's doing, and every so often you'll get, one of them lines. He gave a couple, like he gave an Anderson .Paak line. He gave a couple good lines in there, but it's just too much.
He has bars. He has bars. Like,
but that's the thing. But let me ask you this: why do we say that battle rappers don't make good songs? I would put that in the case of Eminem right now. Like, it's battle. It's too much. It's like battle rap style in a record, and it don't work.
Yeah, that's true. Like but he knows how to make it work, though. That's all I'll say.
So you say he knows how to make it work, but some people, like everybody, don't always like stuff that they were able to do previously, they don't always
He did it pretty
have the same.
recently though. That album that they said was whack, and then he came out and released another one right after that. That was solid.
You say it's solid, but you can't tell me a memorable song off the album.
It was. I can't tell you the names because it's been a while. It's been a good 4 years, but
It ain't been 4 years.
it's gotta be 4 years.
No, it hasn't. It's been like 2. It's been like 2. Because you said like the one with Young M.A. was on it.
That was his last one. That was.
Are you talking about Kamikaze?
No, Kamikaze was the album, but that was like a good 4 years ago. But he released another one, Music to Be Murdered By.
That's the one with Young M.A. on it.
Yeah, Music to Be Murdered By.
That came out like 2 years ago.
When did Kamikaze come out though?
Maybe like 3 years ago.
That's the one I'm talking about. That he released an album before that, and they said it was whack, and then he came with Kamikaze.
Oh yeah, that album before that was doo doo.
I ain't even going to say it was doo doo. It just wasn't.
The record, and he had Ed Sheeran and Beyonce. The Beyonce record, like, come on, we was making jokes about the Beyonce record. It wasn't good, and he had Katy Perry on it. Like it wasn't a good album.
Let me ask you this.
And that's the one that Joe tore him apart about.
And that's when he came back with that Kamikaze.
But Kamikaze, yeah.
And Joe got real quiet. Let me ask you this though. If you're an artist and you've had success, but now you see you have an opportunity to get to an easy bag by working with these big names, would you do it?
But are you losing like the intent? Like
yes, you're compromising. Yes, right away, you're compromising your music. It's going to take a hit.
Honestly, the way like when you're like he's an artist of a certain stature, so like he can get those, but honestly, I think he was probably catering to his white audience because he has a huge white audience. It wasn't the hip hop. That album wasn't for hip hop.
Like, would you do it? Would you compromise your music? You know it's going to sell.
So the thing is, you don't always want to put people inside a box, right?
What does that mean?
So, what does Jay say? I'm a hustling rap trapped inside of a rapper. Like, okay. Don't box me in. Like,
okay.
Some people want to create different types of music. So maybe he wanted to create pop music or an R&B record or something like that.
True.
So like Kiki Wyatt, she's an R&B artist, but she wanted to make a country record or something. Like, you don't want to box people into just one genre. So I'm not going to say I wouldn't. But as long as I didn't lose the integrity of like what I do, the same way you said with Snoop, with the Katy Perry record, that probably lost, and I don't even think it lost integrity on Snoop, because Snoop does that type of stuff. Snoop's on a lot of different stuff, dog. Like he has his hand dipped in like a lot of different styles of music. So yeah. So that's what I'm saying, like.
But you don't look at him like the same Snoop from the Death Row days, the Master P days. Like,
no.
If people had released that Katy Perry song back then with the Chronic, he wouldn't have a career.
He wouldn't even made that type of risk back then. Because like once you're solidified, you can sort of do things that you normally wouldn't do. Like
not everyone can.
Yeah.
God rest Pac's soul. Imagine Tupac doing a song with Katy Perry.
But
song. That would be disturbing.
Tupac would have been solidified.
In no reality would that song ever be possible. Just think about that. Snoop is rare. He can get away with that because he's done it so much, and he's more a personality than a rapper at this point.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But you're saying that if you know it costs, say, $500,000 to get Beyonce on the song, and you know that that song is going to make you millions. But you do the song with Beyonce, and you know it compromises your music, your fans.
I don't think a record with Beyonce would be in that boat.
You think M fans was like his diehard fans was happy with that Beyonce?
But they would have understood it.
No, why would they understand it?
Because it's Beyonce. It ain't like it ain't like if you throw out Katy Perry's name again, it ain't like it's Katy Perry. It's Beyonce.
You don't think some hardcore hip hop fans they don't feel a way at a Beyonce song?
Did they feel a way about Jay doing records with B?
That's his wife though.
They feel a way about T.I. and Lil Wayne doing records with her? Like it's so, like she's done records with hip hop artists. I don't think that's outside of the culture or like hip hop. But Katy Perry, somebody like Katy Perry is undeniably not of the culture. Like doing a record with her is different from doing a record with Beyonce.
But just to be clear, you could do a record with someone of the culture and it'd be whack, right?
Yeah. There's been records like that.
So say that's a possibility. Like you did the song with Beyonce and it's just not a good song. You know it, she knows it, but it's going to make money.
Yeah, drop it. Why not?
You would still do it?
Why not?
Wow. I'm disappointed, but
you're saying is if it's a good song, you're saying it's not a good song?
It's not a good song.
So let me tell you this: how many artists have songs like they have a million songs? It probably wouldn't go on my album, but I would drop it.
No, I'm saying this is a single. You have Beyonce. This is your whole budget. That's you.
If you spent all that money on it,
yeah,
you probably have to drop it. You wouldn't have and you're on the label, you have to drop it.
So you would say, yeah, drop it and pretend like it's good. Perfect example. 50 Cent, Ayo Technology. Do you really think he wanted to release that? Or it was a business play? Like, I know it's going to reach.
I don't think that song should have been on the album.
It shouldn't have. Once they finished recording it should have went into the vault. Like, honestly, it shouldn't have been a single. It shouldn't have been on the album.
I don't know, but that's the thing about labels. I don't know why it was created. Ayo Technology was not a good song.
Was Jay-Z and Justin Timberlake's song good? Either one.
It was going to sell. I wasn't a fan of the song, the Suit and Tie record. Were you a fan of that record?
I'm not a fan of either.
And then what was the other one called?
You take the shoes off my
Yeah.
Something. I can't even remember.
I can't even remember the words.
But it was popular though. I can't lie.
It was popular. And you know how when we were in college, like, the people who went to that school, they loved that record.
They still played it on the radio today, no lie. Holy Grail.
Holy Grail.
It still gets played. I'm sure Jay-Z still performs it to this day. Nothing to be proud of.
So who does he perform it for? When he went on the Justin Timberlake tour, yes, he was performing it. On a regular Jay-Z concert, you think Jay-Z fans want to listen to Holy Grail or Suit and Tie?
Depending on the audiences he pulls.
If I'm a Jay fan and I go to a Jay concert and he plays that, like, I don't think that would even make the playlist of what he's going to perform.
Do you think it would have made the playlist for the On the Run tour?
Because they bring in a lot different type of people and they're not all hip hop. Maybe. But I'm just saying, like, a hip hop audience. They're not going to be singing
a hip hop song.
But they're not going to be. No, it's not a hip hop song. No, it's not a hip hop song.
It's a hip hop artist with an R&B artist.
It's not a hip hop song. It's not a. You think it's a hip hop song?
It's a Timbo. I'm sure Timberland produced the beat.
It's not a hip hop song.
Wow. So it's just a pop record.
It's a pop record. It's something that why else would you see a Jay-Z Justin Timberlake like collaboration? First off, like why would you see that collab? Money. That's all it was. Jay-Z didn't like that song.
And it was a single. The album was so terrible.
Yeah.
But again, it's a pop song. He knew it wasn't going to please the fan base.
It made a lot of money. But it wasn't going to please the fan base, but they weren't going to be mad at it.
Were you mad at New York?
It wasn't a whack record.
Empire State of Mind?
It wasn't a bad song.
It's an annoying song, though.
It's super annoying. And it's annoying for reasons I won't say, but...
Were you mad at Em and Rihanna? They did a couple songs.
I don't listen to none of them songs. I'm sorry.
Because you don't think it's good or because you think it's pop?
Because I honestly just can't listen to them. Like wow. I don't think they're good songs. Like people love them records.
Those are records.
I don't think they're good. Do you?
Yeah, I think one of them.
They annoy me. Like they annoy me. The same way Empire State of Mind is a huge record, great record, but I can't listen to it. Like when Blueprint 3 came out, that's the record I had to skip. I give it props for what it did, but I'm not just gonna sit and listen to it.
Lyrically, it was good. It's just the chorus. It's really New York. It's just,
and it's because of who was singing the chorus.
I don't even think. I think if Beyonce sang, it would still be annoying. It would just.
No. It's the way she sings it, and that's the way she sings. Like if someone else is on the hook, it might be more palatable. Like you can listen to it. But honestly, just with her, like because she screams so much, it's so unpleasant. Like Girl on Fire. Why are you screaming so much? Like I can't even right now sing it like she sings it because it's so bad.
So Alicia Keys, do you feel like that's the style that she sings with, or she just can't sing, or her voice deteriorated over the years and this is the result?
All of the above. All of the above. I don't think she can sing.
Ever?
Mm-mm. I don't think she can sing. But like, I think she was better at singing when she initially came out over what she's been doing recently. Like, I think her voice has deteriorated in a sense. And you hear it in the rasp, like and some like, and I don't know what some people hear because I like people say like, oh, she sounded amazing and she sounded so great, and I'm like, did we just listen to the same thing? Because I told people there were certain performances that I just had to turn my TV on mute and wait till it was over because it was that bad to me. Like when you have to belt out a note and scream it, and your screams and the note that you're belting out is off key, like it's just unpleasant. Like she doesn't have a pleasant tone or pleasant voice.
So do you say that to be funny that her voice deteriorated, or you really believe like that she believes like
No. I'm not trying to be funny. You first off, you brought it up that, that maybe her voice deteriorated.
Like I know it's real. Like Lauryn Hill voice is clearly not the same.
No, Lauryn Hill's voice is not the same at all. Like Mariah Carey's, I feel like Mariah Carey's voice deteriorated, but that it does that in a sense when you get older. Like your voice is not going to be the same. It's the same thing. Like if you're in your 20s playing basketball,
Yeah.
It's not going to be the same as when you're in your 40s. Like time is going to take over. You get older, but they're like, and there are some people who, as they get older, they can still sing, but they don't have the same range as they had previously. But like certain people, like Mariah, I don't think she can sing at all
You think
right
she
now.
could once upon a time.
Yeah, Mariah used to be able to sing.
But that's what I'm saying. Alicia Keys, she doesn't sound
And
that
I'm not
different.
gonna wait. With Mariah, I'm not gonna say she can't sing. The stuff that she tries to do, like you know how, say you can dunk. I'm gonna take it back to basketball. If you can dunk in your 20s, maybe you can't dunk at 35 anymore for whatever reason, but you still try to dunk and it just doesn't go well. She still tries to do the high pitches and like the falsettos and all that stuff and singing and just doing things that vocally she just can't do any longer. And it doesn't come off well. If you stayed in your range and what you can do, it would sound a lot better than trying to do something that you're not capable of doing.
You can see how that could be hard for someone though, like to come to terms with that, come to grips with it.
I mean, it's a lot of hard realities that people have to face. But my thing is, if your revenue and your talent is in singing, you want to be able to sing. Look at Patty and Gladys Knight when they did the verse. Like Patty had to stand up. I mean, Gladys had to stand up because she said like her register is lower now. She can't go as high as she used to,
Mm.
and things can't come out as easily as they used to. But she can still sing because she stays where she knows how to stay. Like
With
she doesn't try to
control.
go. Yeah, control. She doesn't try to do things that she can't do any longer. And some artists do try to do that. With Lauren, I don't know what happened with Lauren. I don't know what trouble she went through.
Why
Because
can't
Lauren used to have a really, really good voice. But now when I listen to her and the style changed, because she can't play the records the same way. So I would love to hear the record like how it was made. But she had to change up the beats and all that stuff.
but
Um,
that's what I'm saying. Alicia, she pretty much sounds the same. She doesn't sound like a different person when she talks based on when she first came out. So you're just saying she can't sing, or you're saying you can hear the deterioration in her voice.
I do feel like she sounded different when she came out than what she sounds like now.
Okay.
But you can hear, unless she's trying something different, maybe it's just something different she's trying. But you can hear it. Like when she did the verses with John Legend, like there were some songs that she sounded okay on because I was like, okay, why don't you do this more often? But then there were certain songs where she just sounded crazy. But it's just like stick to what you can do.
So that's it's like telling Ali, don't get back into the ring after you were a great fighter for so long.
And
Sometimes
then he
that
got humbled.
not just humbled, like
Like it ruined his
yeah,
livelihood.
it ruined his health and everything. You think that's the case with Alicia Keys, where she just can't recognize that, or with singers in general, they just can't recognize the fall off, or they
But you
like, I gotta
should.
get this
But
bag.
you should. I feel like you should be able to hear it. Like when something doesn't sound well. Like something doesn't sound right.
So, all right, again, hypothetical. If you're in her shoes and you know your voice is not the same, you know it doesn't sound great, are you just going to say, I'm not performing those songs no more?
So
What would you do?
if you're singing something and it's in a key that you can't sing, you're going to change the key. Like
Okay.
she still tries to sing things in its original key, and it's like take it down an octave, take it down a little lower to somewhere that's more comfortable for
But it
you.
wouldn't be the same song anymore. If fans are waiting, for
She's not. She's not familiar with lip syncing. Like sing the record.
wow. So you
She's
would
done it before. Like people don't care. Like when in the audience, like just lip sync.
would you care as a fan? Because I would care. If I pay
Nah,
money and someone is lip syncing.
nah. I'd rather have like people when they go see people, they're just going to see the person. Like they're happy seeing Mariah. Like if I went to a Michael Jackson concert and Michael wasn't singing live, I'd be all right knowing that I just saw
See,
Mike.
see, you say that, but at least you know with Mike, you get the dancing, you get the environment. Well, at least I guess you get the piano playing, but it's not the same. You want to hear him sing.
But
I
people
could
I
play the
go
CD in my car if I wanted to hear the record.
I've gone to places and I've seen people like lip syncing.
Call them out.
I'm not calling nobody out.
Don't worry, yo, they ain't gonna see it.
I'm not calling nobody out. But like even when you look on like award shows and stuff, like they're lip syncing a lot of times. But my thing is, I rather like at least have a good performance, let it sound good. Because if it doesn't sound good, you're gonna be posted somewhere.
Yeah,
But my thing is, like, I came to see the artist. Like, I'd be happy to see the artist. Like the singers I would go see wouldn't lip sync because they can sing. But in terms of when someone can't sing well, lip sync. Why not?
wow.
You're not known as a great singer. Lip sync.
What do you think her legacy will be,
Who?
Alicia Keys?
I mean, she solidified like as an artist. Like she's a good artist, a great artist. Like makes great songs. Um,
One of the greatest R&B artists ever? Or is that too competitive?
does she do R&B? Would you call Alicia R&B?
That's all I know her to do. That's
You
I don't think she
consider
does pop music.
you consider R&B?
Yeah, especially her early stuff.
R&B? I never really thought about it. Like, you think she would be R&B?
How could she not be? Fallen, all those songs. That's R&B. Maybe this girl is on fire. Maybe that's more
I wouldn't classify her music as R&B, but I mean, I could see where you're going with that.
2000s R&B. I would.
Okay, I guess so. I guess so. I actually really do like a lot of Alicia Keys songs.
She's a good writer. I think she writes her stuff.
I don't think she writes all her stuff, but I think she writes enough stuff.
The early stuff, right? She wrote.
Probably. Well, you know she don't write all her stuff. You know Drake wrote like the Unthinkable record. That was a big thing. Like Drake wrote
Yeah. At this point,
Unthinkable.
I'm not surprised that she wouldn't write all her stuff, but early on, breaking in, you gotta respect. You know.
And she played the piano, so that was the thing. She played and she sang. Um, that was her thing. And you know she always did the grunts on the records. Like used to annoy the crap out of me. Uh.
That was her
Like
thing, though.
uh. I was like, yo, shut up.
Alicia, I like her. I like her a lot. She seems very down to earth. I saw her on the Complex, the sneaker show. She seemed very down to earth.
Yeah, she's very earthy.
What you mean earthy? Like that? That sounds like a hippie.
She's very earthy.
Let me leave Alicia alone for a rough watch.
I think that's more of like yeah, earthy.
Did you lose any respect for Whitney Houston for that 9/11 national anthem because she was lip singing?
It wasn't 9/11.
It was right after 9/11, but she wasn't really singing though, right?
It was to a track.
What do you mean? Like to instrumental track, or she pre-recorded it in the studio and then came
So it seems like you know what happened. Why are you?
I thought this was common knowledge. What do you mean?
That's I'm asking you. Why you like? It seems like you know what happened.
Yeah, I'm asking you, do you lose any respect for that
No,
because she
but
looks? They call it the greatest performance of the national anthem, but can you really call it that?
we
If it
don't
was
know.
done in the studio the
But we
night
don't.
before,
We don't know if she fully lip synced it either.
I thought she did. I could be wrong, but
See, and I'm not even going to confirm this because you ain't going to have me looking crazy. But my thing is, it's a stadium. Like you know how acoustics can be like they made sure everyone could hear it, and she's the standard.
I
And I'm
agree.
not going to say she lip synced it because some people say she did. I'm not going to say. I don't know. I just know it sounded wonderful. It's the best national anthem ever, and
It is.
that's where I'm going to leave it at. We're not going to get into to the other stuff.
It did sound great. I won't deny that. I just don't know if it was live. Like it was a
That's not
live
that's not for
performance.
that's not for me to care. I'm not I'm not even going to. You can bring that up, but it just sounded great. The best national anthem ever.
I give her that.
And I'll say
I like
Luther, Marvin Gaye are like top three.
seen Luther. I don't know if I saw him.
Marvin Gaye did his at like the All
Was it
Star
in Philly?
game. I don't know, but like, and he turned like people love his because he turned his into like a record.
Soulful.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and Luther just sounded like Luther. Luther can do no wrong.
Rest in peace. Two great artists.
Two of the greatest.
Yeah, I can't knock you there.
Yeah, I don't even know if we're gonna keep this clip in because that's just like blasphemy, yo.
Yo, the Whitney part you gotta keep. That's real. Yo. I thought that was a known fact. That wasn't
Yeah.
hers. But it's cool.
I'm
Moving
not gonna
on.
say it was a known fact, but I mean it was pre-recorded. Yeah,
So you do know that was pre-recorded.
nigga, duh. But my thing is, but my thing is, um, it doesn't matter. She still had the best. You're saying, do you lose respect? No, I don't lose respect.
I lose a little respect. It's
She
not like
sang it better than anyone has ever sang it.
in the studio. All right, that's cool, but not live. Like that should be a different conversation.
Do you think everyone who comes in and does it live?
No, I don't think that
So why is it a different conversation?
because we talking about those that actually sing. You know, they were paid to be there and sing.
Do you think she could have done that live the way she did it?
It begs the question. I would think she can. Why didn't she if she could? Right? But you right. This shouldn't even be posted. I don't even want no Whitney Houston slander. This,
That's why I'm keeping shut on this.
this let's move on. What
You
do you
ain't gonna
think?
be there's certain things you're not gonna bait me into. Like you got this question, like I'm not gonna be baited into everything.
yo,
Alicia Keys, I don't care.
yo,
But
let's move on.
Whitney, we ain't gonna have no Whitney talk.
Yo, let's move on. Can you give me your opinion? What do you think about Usher stealing and giving out fake money to dancers?
I just watched this, but you can't say he's stealing.
What do you call it?
No, so get it straight, because he paid in real money, but then the dancer posted it because he left. You know, he was throwing that around. Afterwards, he paid, or before he paid in real money, but he threw this around because he's promoting his like Las Vegas residency.
Okay.
So the stripper was just like, "Oh, Usher should get blasted for leaving this." Like he did that to promote something, but he still paid. The stuff he was throwing wasn't real, but behind the scenes he paid. So what she thought she picking up is Usher bucks, but he paid.
So I don't know much about exotic dancers and strip clubs, but the way the story made it sound was like he was throwing it on stage like it was real money.
He was like 100,000. So
As
Usher
celebrities,
bucks
so celebrities normally
money.
throw money, probably in
So if
addition to what they already paid.
so if you're dancing, you don't see on the money that it don't look like you see a black man on the money.
They probably thought it was Obama or something. They probably not the, not the fastest. Plus it's dark in there.
But there was only one who came out and said it. Like I'm sure the club knew ahead of time what he was doing. He was promoting his residency. So like he posted on like days before, like the suitcase on his Instagram with Usher his face on it. So he's been promoting it. So he paid whatever he paid, and they probably got divvied out, just like whatever. Like they were just salty that the money that he threw on stage wasn't real, but that ain't his fault.
But question, why would he be throwing fake money on stage? It's not like he was throwing in the crowd to people. He was throwing it at the strippers.
You see people talking about it. He's promoting his residency. People are talking about it.
But they're talking about him being a scammer. That's what they're talking about. Like, and now multiple stories have come out saying that this is what he does.
This is the first time this has been done. So
Someone else said that he walked into the store and like, oh, I like that hoodie, and he tried it on, and he kept talking with them, and then he just walked out the store and didn't pay for the hoodie.
so if you're of that stature, like you get free things a lot, right?
Yeah,
So you don't think like people come out with whatever stories they want to come out,
true.
but you don't think I,
Another story was that he was on the plane, he had a coach seat, and he walked into first class, and because he's a celebrity, started talking with everyone, and then they say he just sat down and just played it off. Like,
I haven't heard these stories and I can't validate them as true. I feel like you just made these up.
no, I saw this on the internet today. So
I feel like you just made this up.
it may be a lie. It's probably a lie,
But look at that. Like we got to start respecting Usher for the legend he is. Like he's promoting something. So just because everybody ain't in on it, don't mean that he's a scammer. Like I don't think he's a scammer. The whole putting on the hoodie and then walking out, like I mean it could be true, but I don't believe this stuff. Like if he sat down in first class, like they would have ushered him back into coach if he wasn't supposed to be there. Like I don't believe that.
if you're a stewardess or whatever you call a male steward, would you really usher back to coach?
You don't think a lot of people would want to do that? Like people now, like you don't like the same way that stripper wanted to put him on blast for the usher buck. You don't think somebody would have wanted to be like, nah, you gotta get back. Like somebody like people love to put people on blast.
Maybe
Like
they were so shocked. Like they had to second guess it, like, yo, this is Usher. Maybe he does have, or maybe I can get close, get an autograph or something if I let it rock. It's not like he's doing harm to any one individual. He just scamming overall.
I don't believe these stories. Same way I don't believe he has herpes. I don't believe I don't believe these stories. Like I don't
Oh,
believe these
well,
I
now
don't
that's
believe
different. That's
I don't believe these stories about Usher. Like I really don't.
I think that was an actual lawsuit, though.
Have you heard anything else about the lawsuit?
What else is there to hear?
People
I thought they
people
settled. No,
nah, they ain't settled. People they could do a lawsuit about anything. That don't mean it's real.
the same with Mike Vick. I thought these lawsuits were
What happened with that?
the same thing.
Herpes?
Yeah,
I didn't hear that.
yeah. Singer is finally done with last lawsuit.
I don't know.
Oh, they dismissed the lawsuit. The insurance company.
I just don't. I don't believe it. And like that took a real hit. That's why people keep saying they want to see Usher do a versus. I don't want him to do one because he would smoke whoever he was battling, but people going to try to be funny and bring up the herpes and all that stuff.
That's corny though, because he's a legend. Like with
A
some
real
like
legend.
personal life, like that should have no, with the exception of R. Kelly, because he did stuff to harm others. Well, you could say Usher did stuff. I don't know.
But with the herpes,
If he knowingly was passing around that, like
well,
Mike
and
Vick was,
and
yeah.
and people didn't believe he was with the girl who came out. Like once we saw who the girl was, people were just like, "Yo, I don't believe, I don't
I
believe
believed
that."
it. I believed it
Why?
because of his wife, his ex-wife. You saw,
But this was like a big, big girl.
wasn't his ex-wife?
No,
You sure about that? Did you
his
ever
hair,
see his
his ex-wife was like his hairstylist.
the one that he had to call police on?
I don't know.
Yo, let's not even publish this topic, yo. This is just, this
No,
is wrong.
you never know. Because after I heard the Diddy Steve Stout story, where he said, "Yo, yo, I talked to my pastor or whoever, like, yo, take that scene out of Hate Me Now with Nas carrying the cross, or no, it was Jesus being crucified,
Yeah, yeah.
right?" He said, take that scene out, and they never took it out when it premiered on MTV. Steve Stout said, not 10 seconds later, dudes was at my door and they beat the crap out of me. And it was ordered by Diddy. He said he got off the phone with Diddy. He said the video premiered. Like 10 seconds later, it was a knock on my door, and they beat the crap out of me.
Yo, that's do you believe that story?
I absolutely believe that story. First off, because why would Steve Stout lie about that?
Why would Diddy be in the video? Like, was Diddy not in that scene or something? Or
No,
what?
no, it wasn't Diddy in the video. It was Diddy had talked to his like spiritual counselor, and so I guess he saw the video or something, or after he talked to him, he was just like, "Yo, we can't have this scene in there because it was like controversial scene, Jesus being
Yeah,
crucified or something like that."
it was
And so,
Nas.
or Nas being crucified,
Yeah,
and Steve Stout was just like, I ain't have control over it at that point, and so like he couldn't take it out. And whoever they was working with, whoever was doing the video, like they're just like, nah, we're not changing it. So Diddy
probably.
saw, so you saw the MTV premiere, and like that was when MTV was premiering videos, and he said not 10 seconds. Like I don't even know if it was 10 seconds, but like after that video premiere, and they saw that scene was still in there. He said 10 seconds later, he got a knock on his door, and dudes were there to beat him up, and he said they beat the crap out of him, and it
His own office. That's crazy. That's
in his office. So Diddy had the people ready, like they were ready, like they were there just in case.
how come he didn't send them after Nas? Like
You
why
can't
pick
send
on
them.
Steve
You
Stout?
can't send them after Nas
Why go after Steve Stout though? That's crazy.
because Nas is the artist, but Steve Stout is behind the scenes, and so yeah, Steve Stout, like he said he couldn't have, so like it was probably out of his hands, but I don't know why. I don't know why you go after Steve Stout.
They shouldn't have put that scene in there. That's
I mean, it's not in the video now. You can't go back and watch it.
no, you
Like
can. It's
no,
in
you
there.
can't.
They
No,
put
it's
a little
not.
disclaimer before they show the video
No, it's not.
saying that Nas believes in Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior.
But you can't find that on YouTube or nothing now.
On there, dog.
No, it's
I'm
not.
pretty
I
sure
looked
it's on there. For real?
after that Drink Camp episode came out. I went to look for it. You can't find it.
Yo, you sure? Like, I feel like I saw that recently.
I don't think you did, unless you was on something else. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, on YouTube, you go on the guy Nas carrying the cross. Like
But
that's
he's not. But the scene was him being crucified.
yo, that's the same thing.
It's not though.
How is it? He got a crown of thorns on his
Yeah,
head. He
but he's
carrying the cross.
but it's different. Like he's not. I don't like whatever that scene was. They
Just as
like
bad.
they took it out,
That's just as bad. Wow. If I was Diddy, I would probably make the call too. Like you gotta flex your muscles sometimes.
and then you know the you see the video was still the video, so Steve Stout had to take the the fall for it.
Oh yeah, no, it's still there.
The
Yeah,
crucifixion.
yeah, because they put that disclaimer. Yeah, it's still there. Hype Williams directed it. Yeah,
Hype. It was hype, and I forget why. Like you got to go back and watch the Steve Stout episode, but that was one of the funniest stories I ever heard in my life.
it's a shame. It's a shame. I mean, I can understand Diddy's anger.
I mean, I'm not even gonna say anger because I don't know. I think Diddy saw it or like, and then I think I don't know whoever he talked to, he had a change of heart after that. So I don't know.
What do
I
you
don't
think
know.
the conversation was like? Yo, you know you're going to hell for this, right? Like,
It was something like Diddy,
like you still
Diddy,
playing with God? You saw what happened to Biggie. You still playing with God? All right.
Diddy has like a religious sort of background. So I don't know what the conversation was, but it was enough that he got someone jumped.
Things was tense at that time. Biggie just passed, Pac passed. You know, Diddy was probably thinking about his karma, what he been doing with his life.
I don't know.
Had to send a message.
I don't know. But it wasn't Diddy's song.
Even still, it's Diddy though. Like he made that song,
No,
and
he
Stout
didn't.
probably didn't care because he like Diddy not really going to kill me. But if it was Suge or someone, like he would have
Well,
released it.
and that's the thing. I don't know. We hear it from Steve Stout's point of view. Like we don't know Diddy's side of the story. We don't know because like you see how Steve Stout talks now. Like, like, like you're not going to sun him,
He reckless. He kind of
but
reckless.
you're not going to sun him.
Yeah, he kind of reckless though.
And I mean, he just shrugs it off and laughs at it. And him and Diddy are cool now. So, I mean, it all works out.
Growing pains, yo. Growing pains.
I don't know if I could be cool with somebody who had me stomped out.
If you know you was dead wrong though, like, and you made millions off of it,
But it wasn't him.
it was him. He had the
Why?
power.
Why didn't Diddy go after Hype?
True.
Unless he did, I don't know. He might have went after. I don't know who he went. We just know Steve Stout side of the story. Like he could have went after Hype.
Steve Stout shouldn't have came into work that day. Why would he? You know it's a looming threat over you. You're gonna be in the office.
They would have knew where he lived too. Like come on, it's Diddy.
Yeah, you're right. It's probably a better that was done in the office and they catch you at home or something like that. Nah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of the funniest stories I've ever heard.
It's hip hop. It's hip hop.
I'm gonna see if I can download that clip and like add it. 'Cause, like even like this is the last 10 seconds. Yo,
Oh,
you supposed to do the video. 10 seconds later, they was in there and they like it was hilarious. So
did Steve Stout deserve the beat down? That's the question.
yeah,
All right, let's move on. Do you feel? Because I went back and I watched Drink Champs. I was watching the rest of the episode with him on there, and
the latest one.
yeah, the latest one. A lot of people were in the comments saying that they were kind of like supporting his habit if he did die from an overdose. Like they shouldn't have been drinking and smoking around him.
I'm not gonna say they were supporting a habit or not. And you see, and people say that,
Uh huh.
but we have the drink champs to look back at now. Like we don't know, like we don't know, like we don't know what happened with that. Like
Yeah.
it's they saying it was a heart attack. We don't know if it was an overdose. Like
Yeah.
we don't know what happened. But I'm just saying, like, as far as drink champs, as far as like the different stuff, like the verses, I'm happy we have that content that we can
Yeah.
look at now. Because even from that drink champs, people are posting a lot of stuff that happened in that drink champ.
A lot happened on that one. It's eerie.
And so like he brought out his kids, like
Hmm.
like a lot happened. And like people like things happen how they're gonna happen. Like like who knows if that drink camp didn't happen. Like this could have still happened the way it happened.
Yep.
So I'm just like, yo, I'm just happy we had that.
They gave him his flowers, and celebrated
They
him
gave
for
him his flowers multiple times. How many times has he been on Drink Champ?
at least twice. At least twice.
I wouldn't just say at least 3 times.
Maybe three. Maybe three. But I want to say I know of 2 times where I've watched.
I know of 2 definite times, but I think it probably was a third because early on Drink Champs, X was on there.
It's possible. It's possible.
You remember when it first started? They had Jado on there. They had the lot. I think DMX was one of the like
Yeah,
early
Joe was
on.
the first one. I know they were telling DMX stories, and I don't know if he came shortly after that or what.
I think he was early on.
But someone like that, I think he lived the way he wanted to live, and I don't think you could blame the show for
I
doing
don't think
what they
so
do.
either. Because I mean, just because you're around it, don't mean that you're gonna do it. Like, was he taking shots on the last one? I didn't see the last
I know
episode.
he was drinking something. I don't know. It could have been non-alcoholic.
And my thing is, I don't even know if he was drinking on that because when we look at the verses, who is it sponsored by? Ciroc. Snoop is drinking and smoking.
Yeah.
DMX has like Kool-Aid.
Yeah, and Candy, they said. Yeah.
Like he's not indulging in that. Like he was sober, and so
They
like we
mentioned the
can't.
Snoop one too. They named that like, oh, yo, he was just sitting, with all that temptation with Snoop
But
smoking
the
that
thing
disco.
is, people say all that temptation. Like there's temptation everywhere.
Yeah.
Like wherever you go. So my thing is, I know for a fact in the verses he wasn't drinking. He didn't do any of that stuff. I think maybe in one of the drink camps he might have drank or took a shot or something, but I don't think in these recent ones he did.
Yeah.
So I mean, people say what they want to say, but my thing is he's passed. You gotta look at the bright side of things. I'm glad we have the drink camps to look at.
And people knew of these issues before, and they didn't say nothing when the interviews first came out. They didn't care. So
But
I'm
people
glad they
always
cared
say stuff after the fact.
after the fact.
After the fact, somebody's always going to say something.
Yeah. All right.
But I mean, yeah.
Rest in peace, X.
Rest in peace, DMX, Earl Simmons.
All right. What do you think about Steph Curry surpassing Wilt Chamberlain on the Warriors as an all-time scorer?
So, I mean, you knew he was gonna be number one eventually. My whole thing, I didn't know he's like number 84 on the all-time scoring, which is like crazy.
How many years has he been in the league? Like 8, 9? Something
Something
like
like that.
that. He
But
still has time.
no, yeah. I mean, he's gonna have time because I think he's at 17,000 something, 800, 17,800 something.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of players are in that 17,000 to 20,000 range because there's not that many players. I don't think that many players are at 20,000. So I think he's going to take a big jump when he gets to 20,000. And then once you get to like, 20,000, 25,000, I think like he's going to move higher up. I just thought he was further along at this point.
He was drafted 09. So you gotta think he didn't really, well, he did play, but he wasn't Steph Curry out the gate.
But he was still playing.
He was playing, but he wasn't like,
Right.
he wasn't even the guy for the team straight out.
So he'll get 20,000. Like he'll get like the 20,000. Like he might get like 25,000.
Is,
when
is
it's
it
all said and done.
is it fair to say he's a greater player? I know you can't really compare, but is it fair to say that he's a greater player than Wilt
Can't compare.
overall?
Can't compare.
Overall, you have to.
You can't compare.
You gotta. They've always compared. They put
Have you
Wilt in
have
the
you
top
seen
five.
Wilt play?
Few games,
Have you seen him play?
a few games.
Have you seen him play?
When you say "Have I seen him play?" you mean in person, or what do you mean?
Listen, when I watch Steph Curry, I can watch him play for a season. I can watch him play for 5 years. I can watch every game. When
Hmm.
you see Wilt, like what you said, you've seen a few games. If you've seen a few games of anybody, that's not going to show you who they
That's
are.
not.
Anybody can have a
Eh,
few hot games. So my thing is, like, I've seen Steph play, so I see what he brings.
that's a fair point.
I haven't seen Wilt play. I haven't seen Bill Russell play. I haven't seen Dr. J play. Like,
So you automatically don't include them.
it's not that I don't include them. Like sometimes, like just for history's sake, like you have to include some players. But if you like, in all honesty, like when people make their top five, I'm just like, how do you put Wilt Chamberlain on your top five? How do you put Bill Russell on your top five? Like so many analysts do it, and it's because you face backlash if you don't put these players from these different eras, from the 50s and the 60s and the 70s on there.
Well, to be
You,
fair, a lot of them are older though, like the Stephen A. Skips. They were
but
around.
they no, they weren't. They weren't around to see Bill Russell. They weren't around to see him.
Skip is
Stop
an
it.
old man. Skip pushing 80.
But I'm
Skip
talking
pushing.
about. I see Paul Pierce and Jalen Rose and all these players say, "How can you not put Bill Russell on there?" And you're going off of history's sake, but you've never seen him play, and they openly admit, "I've never seen him play." But they put it on there just because that's the thing that you're supposed to do. But I'm saying, if you have to pick your top five, you're going to go with players that you've seen. You're not going to go with players that like. It's just like it's not real.
So some players should know because some players like Kobe, they were students of the game, so they would go back and watch.
But you can only watch but so much.
No, I would think of a player like Kobe. I would think they watched everything that any game Bill
So
Russell
so
ever played
so
in.
so if you see Wilt Chamberlain playing basketball and you see him at 7'2" and you see him playing against 5'8" guys and you see him get the ball, put it back in,
Yeah,
get the ball, put it back in. You're gonna say that he was an overall better player than a LeBron or a Steph or someone like that who has to do more, who is more skilled, who has more who has
no,
who has more who has more skill. They're more talented.
but you gotta ask the question: how does his game translate?
I hate that. I hate that whole question. Like, how does
It's a
his
real
game
question,
translate?
though.
It's not.
Why
It's
not?
not. It's not. Because it's like people say, oh, would this person have dominated at this time? If you're saying that the players of today are faster, stronger, better than the players from the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, or whatever, then you have to go ahead and say like certain players like today would dominate back then. They're saying, oh, they like people are saying if you dominate now, like if you like you would dominate back then, but they're not saying players who are good now would dominate back then. But
I
I'm
agree.
saying if you have your skill set and the stuff that you have today, you're gonna you're gonna dominate then.
I agree, but look at someone like Shaq. I think you could say that
Era Shaq
country,
is gonna dominate. I agree.
whatever. Same with Curry. Whatever era you put him in, he's going to dominate
I don't know about that though.
with the shooting, just based on the shooting
With the shoot, but
and the
and with
ball
people.
hand.
But the
Any.
thing, but the thing that people go back to, which makes sense, is if you go back to the 80s, even the 90s, people are not shooting 3 pointers at the clip that they're shooting threes now.
Yeah,
So Steph wouldn't be shooting threes the way he's shooting them now. Because if he could do that now, Ray Allen would have been shooting back then. Ray Allen, he averaged like three threes a game. Like Steph averages what, like 7 or 8? Like Ray said, if he was shooting at that clip, yeah, he would have had more. Reggie, if he was shooting at that clip, we think Reggie's a great 3-point shooter. He averaged like three pointers a game because they didn't shoot it like that back then. So you can't go ahead and say Steph would dominate because you think Steph could take it into the lane and get knocked down like Iverson and still begin back up? No, I don't think he would. Do you think Steph could take it into the lane like Iverson did and get beat up every time he went in and still be the same? He wouldn't survive.
But you gotta. So you believe that overall Ray Allen and Reggie Miller are just as good shooters? They're just as good as Steph? I don't believe that.
So you don't have to believe it. But people give Steph the props on being the best shooter because of what he does. He can take you off the dribble. He can shoot off the dribble.
Mm-hmm.
He's the primary ball handler. Like, and he shoots at a clip that people haven't done. He changed the way you shoot threes. He shoots from 40. But the thing about it is, why did that happen? He was given the green light by Mark Jackson. Like his coach gave him the green light to do that. Like people weren't doing that. So my thing is, if you give Ray Allen, if he's taking you off the dribble and stuff, Ray could shoot. But they weren't doing that. They were getting past the ball. They were spot up 3-point shooters pretty much. Like they weren't taking you off the dribble because they weren't your point guard.
So I'm gonna sound ignorant, but I don't think if Ray Allen was drafted and Mark Jackson was a coach for the Warriors, I don't think he would give that green light to Ray the same way he gave it to Steph. They have two different skill sets. And Steph shot is that much deadlier. Like Reggie couldn't do that.
So you don't think that Reggie can pull consistently from 40, from 30?
From 40?
And you're saying it because you haven't seen, but you're saying it because you haven't seen them do it. We don't look.
Yeah.
Before Steph came along, who did you think was the greatest 3-point shooter ever?
Reggie was, in my opinion.
Well, who was number 2 then?
Ray.
Yes. So it's always back and forth. I always have Ray first and then Reggie second. But my thing is, they were your greatest 3-point shooters before Steph came along. Mm-hmm. Why? Why did you think they were the greatest?
Because they showed that they could hit that 3 consistently.
So one thing that I give to Reggie and Ray, maybe a little more over Steph right now, is they were clutch 3-point shooters. I haven't seen Steph as clutch of a 3-point shooter. When it all counted, when Reggie hit them big shots, where were they in? The playoffs.
They weren't in the finals.
They were.
You could give it to Ray, but not Reggie.
They were in the playoffs.
Steph hit big shots in the playoffs, not in the finals.
He didn't hit the shots the same way as it was in the regular season.
That's true.
When the pressure was on, Steph didn't always show up. Reggie showed up,
but not in the finals.
Let's not do that. He showed up in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yes, he did.
Let's not tarnish this man like that.
Not tarnish, but
you had to put that in there, not in the finals.
You're trying to tarnish Steph, though. Like that's
no, I'm not. I'm just saying, Reggie. When we saw Reggie, it was more of a cut situation.
I would have to go back and look at these plays because I feel like Steph was being double teamed.
He was. I'll give you that.
He's trying to shoot it from 40, like these impossible. But yeah, I'll give you that. Reggie is more clutch than Steph at this point in his career.
But Steph gets it because of how he changed it.
Mm-hmm.
But can you still say that he's a better 3-point shooter than Ray or Reggie?
Yes.
Or Clay?
Yes.
Better.
In my opinion, better. That's why you gotta ask the question.
I don't even know. I honestly don't even like and look at it like this. If all 4 of them, Reggie, Ray, Steph, and Clay, are in the 3-point shooting contest, I don't think I'm picking Steph to win it.
I'm not putting my money on any of them. It's whoever has a hot hand that night. You can't
But
predict that.
you can't predict it. But I don't think I would necessarily. I would go with Clay over Steph. Like if Clay was in the 3-point shooting contest this year, I would probably go with Clay over Steph.
Because Clay beat Steph before in the 3
But
point.
not only that, like when you're just shooting, like Clay and Ray have the best form, like 3-point shooting forms I've seen. So if you're shooting in a 3-point contest, Clay's just gonna be so consistent. Same with Ray. Like it's gonna be the same thing every time. And I'm not gonna say they're better because they're so like how do you say one's better than the other? Steph changed the game, but I don't know. I don't know if I would say he was the best 3-point shooter ever.
I'll give you that. Ray has the most dependable though. Like just based on the form.
Yeah, Ray. I don't even know if Ray or Clay. Clay's form actually might even be better than Ray's.
That's debatable.
It's debatable, like because Ray's was so pretty because we haven't seen it, and like we've been watching Ray for how long? So Ray was just that consistent thing. And I might have to go with Ray just because of what he did in the finals. That shot alone, it was just like, and that's all off of repetition, and he does it the same way. Ray is just a master.
But Clay hit some big shots though, and it's going in if it's in Clay hand. With Steph in the clutch moment, you don't know, but
so let me tell you this, and you say because I don't want to have to bash Clay, but how many times have we seen Clay just go cold, like can't hit nothing? Like we seen in the playoffs. How many times you seen in the playoffs where Steph's doing well and you just like Clay hit a shot and Clay can't hit nothing, and then he'll have a game where he's hot, but then he'll have 2 or 3 games where he's cold. So like
you're right. That has happened.
I have to cut you off on that.
Yeah, you're right.
You can't say I've seen Clay hit like this is revisionist history now. Because it like you be watching the games like Clay hit a shot.
So you don't think he's clutch?
Huh?
You don't think Clay is clutch?
Clay's streaky.
I don't know if streaky is fair. I don't know.
If we say Steph didn't show up in the playoffs, especially, that's when you don't know what you're going to get from Klay Thompson. You just don't. Because one game he'll be hot, and then you can't count on him game 2 or 3. You can do that, but
I don't know if I like that.
If you ever go look back at the games, like I've watched the games, like go back and look at his stats in the game from 3-point, and it's just like hit something, hit a shot, and he just wasn't doing it.
That's a good.
And not even just 1 year. This happened for like that dynasty run before KD came. They won it that time, but Clay had some cold nights. Where it was just like, let Iggy shoot. Don't give it to Clay. Let Iggy shoot.
No, that ain't right. That's just damn.
But you saw what Max Kellerman said. Max Kellerman isn't like he said games games on the line, and anybody on the Golden State Warriors. This is even when KD was on it.
Couldn't be.
Yeah, it was. It was when KD was on it. He said, games on the line, wide open shot. Anybody to take it? I'm taking Andre Iguodala. I'm not taking Steph. I'm not taking Clay. I'm not taking Durant. I'm taking Andre Iguodala for a wide open shot. And I'm
that's
just like,
revisionist history right there.
Because Iggy has made some wide open shots, but he missed more than he's made.
He put up clunkers like. Come on now, Iggy.
And that's why people had to look at him like Max was an idiot, because it's just like
Max knows better. He's lying.
But the thing
Life is on the line. He's not picking Iggy.
He said wide open. He had to clarify it, but I said wide open Klay Thompson, a wide open Steph Curry, a wide open Kevin Durant, and you're gonna choose Andre Iguodala. That's like saying your life is on the line, and just because Shaq hit some clutch free throws that you want Shaq to shoot your free throw. Like, it's just like, nah, I don't care how many times Shaq has come in clutch for free throws. If I got the choice between Kobe or Robert Ory or anybody taking the free throw, I'm going to let them take it over Shaq.
See, that's foolish because Shaq always says he makes them when they count.
But like you said, life's on the line. And when Shaq goes up there, Shaq's sweating. He got to wipe his sweat off his face. Like, it's a chance. I play 2K, and as clutch as you say Shaq is, even on 2K, they have him not making free throws on that. So you got the fate of the world on your shoulder. You're gonna rest in the hands of Shaq making a free throw. You would sound crazy.
All right, Shaq or LeBron? Life on the line.
LeBron.
LeBron?
I choose LeBron over Shaq. My thing,
I'm thinking Shaq.
Either way, you got a good chance of dying. But my thing is, like, and as much as we say Shaq came up big in the clutch, but what does that even mean? Because there were some clutch moments Shaq didn't hit the free throw. There was a reason why there was a hack of Shaq. Because you bet your money that he's gonna miss more than he's gonna make. So as much as people want to use that now, and that's revisionist history too, if you think about it.
Well, he's saying game was on the line and it's the last second to win the shot or we lose.
But how many times did that happen to him?
I can think of like 2 times. And I can't remember exactly.
So if
it was playoffs though.
So do you think, I don't even think Phil Jackson would keep Shaq in the game for something like that. Like, you would have to just on rebound, but God forbid, it's 3 seconds, 4 seconds left in the game, and you got the ball, and they're going to foul somebody. Are you going to keep him in the game? You're going to take him out.
You should, but yeah, you would, yeah.
If I had to bet my life on somebody making a free throw, it's going to be LeBron over Shaq. I'm sorry.
All right, then Shaq or Ben Simmons? Who you picking? Life on the line.
I'm dying. If my life is on the line, I make peace with my maker.
See, I'm going with Shaq. You crazy?
I'm going with Shaq over Ben Simmons to make a free throw.
You are? Okay. All right.
I'm going with Shaq over Ben Simmons to make a 3-pointer.
See, no.
Why not?
That's why I would make peace with my maker, because I don't feel.
But Shaq's hit 3-pointers in his career.
How many times though? Like once?
He's hit more than Ben Simmons.
I thought Ben hit one this season. Didn't he hit one?
In the regular season, not preseason. In the regular season, Shaq has hit more 3-pointers in his career than Ben Simmons.
Look that up.
I promise you, Shaq has made more 3-pointers in his career than Ben Simmons. Because Ben Simmons actually might only have one. He might only have one that actually counts, because we don't count the preseason.
So it says he made 3-pointers this season.
Shaq?
No, Ben Simmons.
How many has Shaq made in his career? More than 3.
Are you counting All-Star games? Because I don't.
Who, Shaq? No, I'm just counting regular, games that count.
One in his career.
Shaq?
1.
I swear he made more than 1.
That's what Google is saying, and I don't know.
I mean, maybe, but even so, I still trust Shaq for the 3 over Ben. I take Shaq, the analyst, right now to make a 3 over Ben Simmons.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask you. Do you feel that Reggie Miller could have hit that shot that Steph consistently missed at that All-Star game? Or was it, I forgot the commentator, the analyst that passed away? Was it?
Oh, the half-court shot.
Yeah.
Where they said, Steph, you make this, would donate whatever, and he didn't make it. And they still donated the money, though. But
they had to save face and have Shaq put in a layup or something like that with a little kid to take the shame.
It's not shame, though. Steph didn't know they was about to do that.
It was shame. He had to know. He had to know.
No, he didn't know in enough time that they was going to do that, because he would have been throwing up half-court shots before. He didn't know in enough time.
Was he in street clothes?
I don't know. I don't remember. But he didn't know in enough time.
I know Reggie was standing right there, and Reggie didn't say, "Oh, I got this."
It was Saturday night. It wasn't even the All-Star game. It was Saturday night. He probably was in street clothes. And they said, "Oh, we're going to do this." It was like an impromptu thing. He didn't know.
They went in on him. They said that's why he not clutch. He can't even
But
do
you,
it for the
but you,
memory.
but you can't count that because they said they gave him what 5 chances or something
He had
like
like
that.
10.
He didn't have 10.
He had a lot of chances.
He didn't have 10. He had like 5. Stop it. And they might have gave him like 2 more. He didn't have 10.
It felt like 20. Honestly, it felt like.
But whose fault is that? They shouldn't have did that.
I think he knew. I think he agreed. You don't just put. I know they couldn't put LeBron on the spot like that. LeBron would have said no.
But how does that look though? If you say we're about to do this for this charity, Steph, come on. Nah, I'm good.
It wasn't for. It was for Kevin
Craig Sager,
Harlan. Craig Sager. Craig Sager. Yeah, that's stuff he had to know. Like, and he shoots that in his sleep.
So if he knew, don't you think he would have put on some shorts and some sneakers?
He probably thought, "Yo, I'll get this in 3 shots." Like,
It just wasn't smart on whoever did it. And they were playing off of the fact because he had like this was when he was like 400 threes in the season or something. So like he was shooting threes at like what we haven't seen. So they brought him up. But nah, you don't do that to him.
you think that humbled him?
No. It ain't affect him.
Like, yo, like like he realized, like, yo, God could take away this gift at any moment.
Nah, it didn't affect him. But missing a 3?
Not missing a 3, missing several threes when you
It
try
don't
to do
count.
the cancer research. It does count. That's
No, it
how can
doesn't.
it not count?
The thing is, they made it say like they were donating that money anyway. Like it ain't like he lost money for cancer research. Don't do that. Like they donated the money anyway. They just tried to make a spectacle of it.
So you think he went home that night saying, "Yo, I don't even care." Like, oh,
It would have been nice if he hit one, but who cares?
you think that was his mindset? Like, yo, who cares about me?
Yeah. It didn't affect him.
It had to in a little way. Like,
It's not like they said, Steph, shoot a 3-pointer. They said shoot a half-court shot. Half-court shots ain't easy.
for him, it is easy though.
He was in street clothes.
But the point, I guess, is that Reggie didn't even attempt it.
Reggie was in a suit. Why would he?
He's Reggie Miller.
He's in a suit.
He's Reggie Miller. Take
He's
the
in a
blazer
suit.
off, roll your sleeves up.
So if you're in a button down and he, I don't even know if he got on sneakers. You just gonna go and you're gonna attempt to do no? Why would you do that?
If you're Reggie Miller and Steph Curry,
You just told me you don't even think Reggie could hit a 40-foot three.
not in game.
So
with
you think
someone on him.
so you think 20 years after his career is over, he's gonna take off his suit and go throw up a half court 3 that Steph didn't make?
Reggie once said, "Once a shooter, always a shooter." He says he still works on his shot.
Half court shot is a circus shot. There's no like
Whoa, it's not a circus shot. Don't.
it is a circus shot.
Not when you got logo Dame. You can't call it a circus shot no more.
Yes, you can.
When he pull up from the logo.
Dame, first off, Dame shot inside the 3-point. And then you can't say logo Dame in that because in the All-Star game, what did Steph do? He hit the half court shot, same way Dame did. Like he was in the game, he was warmed up. You can't take somebody off the pine and expect him to just go and hit a shot like that. It don't work like that.
Yeah, that was Steph's fault, man. He should have warmed up backstage or wherever.
It ain't
He
Steph's
knew,
fault.
he knew.
It's whoever's fault trying to make a spectacle out of this and calling out Steph. Like
Yeah.
they could have called Dame up. They ain't called Dame up.
I don't think Dame had the juice at that time.
Nah, Dame was still fighting to be an all-star at that point. But
Couldn't even make
even
it.
so, even so, even so, they could have had anybody shoot that.
Yo, I got 2 more questions for you, yo.
Shoot.
What are your top 5 Nas collaborations?
I already know. Favor for a favor with Scarface.
That's respectable.
If I ruled the world with Lauren.
You consider that a real? She sung the chorus. Okay, I'll give
You
you
don't
that.
think that's a collab?
I guess it is technically. Yeah, technically it is.
So
I just see it as a Nas song though.
as a collab, do you mean like with other rappers?
No, I'll let that rock. I was thinking rappers, but yeah.
We can go rappers then, because let's go rappers. Lauryn Hill is a rapper though, but she didn't rap on If I Broke the World. So favor for a favor with Scarface.
You drawing blanks.
I'm not drawing blanks. I'm not drawing blanks. I'm thinking about the different collabs. Because I'm like, with Jay, do we say Black Republican or Success? I'll say Black Republican because that's on Nas. That's on the Nas album.
Okay.
So let's go Black Republican. Favor for a favor. Nas hip hop with Scarface. That's another one that I'll throw in there.
Respected. I got that one too.
And we're just talking about songs, not posse cut. Just Nas.
If you want, it's yeah. That's
Now we'll just do this straight collab. We Major might be up there. You don't think so?
No, that's a great song.
You know, but are we talking? We just talking.
That's a collab. That's a collab.
So it don't got to be a Nas record. So.
No.
Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. Take We Major off of there. I got mine now. I'm sorry. It's so many Nas records that you got to think about.
Cause they're subtle though. Like his collabs are subtle. Like.
All right, I'm sorry. Oh God, I got my 5, and I can't put. I gotta take the hip hop record off because I like Favor for a Favor better. So I'm not gonna put 2 Scarface records on there. So Favor for a Favor, Black Republican, Verbal Intercourse.
I got that.
Verbal Intercourse. That's on there. I had to think. I was like, my God.
I thought you were gonna miss that one.
Honestly, I gotta go Just a Moment with Quan.
Really?
That's one of my favorite Nas records ever.
Wow, that's a shocker.
No, I had to go Just a Moment. I'm sorry. I had to go Just a Moment.
4. That's 4. You got one left. That's a great song though.
I love that record. Verbal Intercourse, Black Republican, Favor for a Favor. God, this is hard. Favor for a Favor, Just a Moment. I'm not gonna throw John Blaze on there.
You got one more, yo.
I'm not throwing John Blaze on there.
A lot of people would pick John Blaze.
But it's a posse cut. So I'm just trying to think of songs that, Yeah. God, this is hard.
Got one track left.
I'm trying to think of the collabs, and I know I'm missing some in my head of like who he collabed with.
You're missing 2 big ones in my opinion, but
really? Hold on, don't even say nothing yet.
I'm not saying anything.
I know you're not. Doug's Mansion don't count as a collab because that's
not it could.
No, it don't. It's after the death. It ain't like they did it together. Yeah. I love that record, but that don't count as a collab. Am I missing? What the heck am I missing? Did something recently come out from that? Are we going to Firm?
Yeah, you can.
Bump it. I'm a All right, all right, all right,
What's
all
your
right.
fifth?
Favor for a favor. Verbal intercourse. Black Republican. Just a moment.
One more.
I'm gonna go John Blaze only because I love that verse. I love Nas.
Oh,
Are you gonna? What are you gonna say? Live at the cookout? Live at the
nah,
barbecue?
heck no. I don't even listen to this.
You don't listen to Nas verse on that? I was just listening to
I-
that like last week. Um,
but as a song, it's not really
um, that's a good record.
a song.
Um,
I got Black Republican as well. Verbal intercourse. That's a classic. I got hip hop. I put that over favor for a favor.
I mean, either you can go either way. Honestly, I just like I
Yeah.
think I just like favor for a favor, but I just said I wasn't gonna put two Scarface records on there.
And some people will go success, but I just feel like Jay killed him on that
I
song.
I couldn't go success because I just don't think Nas's verse was up to par with Jay.
Yeah, that's like putting Renegade on J Top collabs. Like, nah.
Right. I think Black Republican was closer.
Yeah, Black Republican. Then I got Rich and Black, Raekwon. That's my personal. I just like
That's a good record.
that's a sleeper.
Yeah, that could make my top 10, but top 5 is hard.
Well, I thought you were going to say Life's a by Nas AZ off of Illmatic. That for me is his. You can't really overlook that. That's like one of his. That's Illmatic. The only feature on Illmatic.
And it's one of the best records ever. Would I take AZ? Would I take that and replace what did I say is my fifth? John Blaze.
John Blaze.
You can put that on there because that's one of the hardest like verses ever. Like
AZ.
when we talk about like the best opening line, I think
Visualizing realism of life and actuality. Yeah, that's hard.
No, it's not even that. It's just like what my body, like the way he just like,
yeah, his
my birthday is a blessing, the essence of feel it. Like it was just like
essence of adolescence, leave my body now. I'm fresh in my physical frame to celebrate because I'm like that's hard.
It's one of the best openings. We talk about Big Pun having like the best opening. I still think Jay had some of the best opening lines, but I think that's one of the best opening lines. Like,
yeah,
I think that's one of the best ones.
Yeah. And then my fifth, I'm surprised you missed this one. Made You Look remix.
I didn't miss it.
Jada, Luda, like
I didn't miss it. That would be in my top 10. It's
that
not
was tough. That was tough.
So let me ask you this. So you have Black Republican in there. We both have Verbal Intercourse. You'll put Made You Look remix over Favor for a Favor?
Me personally, yeah.
Over like
just the energy from that track. Like
I'm thinking lyrically. Like
even lyrically, like Jada coming through in the Ash and Vanquish, the color of dandruff, like that's
top 5 Dead or Alive.
And that's like, just off one LP.
Ludacris killed it too, but it would make my top 10. It wouldn't make my top 5.
You never stood half a chance like Siamese twins. It's mad quotables in there. And you could say Nas had the worst verse on that song. Like,
I'm not gonna say that. Like they were all 3 strong.
Luda, Jada, like.
Is that the order that you picking them? Luda, Jada?
No, Jada and Luda kind of equal, and then Nas. Can't really one A and one B, and then Nas.
Nah, I don't think Jada. I don't think Jada and Luda are equal.
Who you think had the best?
It's a three-way tie.
See,
Because even Nas, you could say he had the weakest verse, but even the way he started off the verse was
he switched up the flow. I grabbed the most. Yeah, it was.
the bullet, like it was different, but they were. I mean, three strong. If I had to go, who had the best verse, I would go Jada.
That was a hard verse. Jada had a.
Honestly, I would go Jada, Luda, Nas. Now I'm thinking about it now. I would go Jada, Luda, Nas.
That was it was. Luda held his own for being a down south rapper. Jada, I can't even say Jada ever had the best verse on a posse cut. He's always had great verses, but his competition has been so stiff with Jay and DMX and Biggie and Styles. Like it's hard to say he had the best, but
Can you name a song where you had the best?
probably the down south ones, the down south collabs, where they changed the beat up. It was the one with R. Kelly on the hook. I don't. Maybe it was a Fat Joe song with T-Pain or something like that. I Make It Rain.
I would
And
have to go.
they came in with the cream beat.
I would have to go listen to it honestly. Like Jada's had the best. Like even when you listen to they had a Never Scared record. DJ Khaled had a Never Scared record with Starface, Jada, Meek Mill, Akon. I think Jada had the best verse on that. Jada then Scarface. So it's Jada and Scarface 1A, 1B. But like if you look back at the posse cuts, it's hard to say Jada had the best verse. Because on Banned from TV, he had the best verse. He had like top 3.
No.
But yeah. Like he's always, but he's never had a whack verse.
Yeah, never a whack. And you could argue he has the best verse on some of those, but in the BT cipher, I think he definitely had the best verse, even though Fab was right there.
But who did he have? It was Jada, Jewels, Fab, and who was that dude that DJ Khaled had?
Ace Hood.
Ace Hood. Of course, you know, Ace Hood, he didn't have.
No, he held his own, but it was Jada, then it was Fab and Jewels pretty much tied.
No, I don't think they were tied. I think Fab had a better verse than Jewels.
Just down with your face in the pasta plate.
But Fab.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
Like Fab is the key, like punchline.
You're right. Yeah. You really.
The same way you talk about Cass in a cipher, like you look for quotables. Fab had that, and Jada had that. Like Jada just kills anything he gets on.
Yeah, Jada. Yeah, Fab. You could argue that Fab had the best verse. I wouldn't be mad at that.
But in that Jada verse, I've heard that Jada freestyle like before. Like he's done that freestyle before.
He switched it up a little bit though.
He switched it up, but you heard it before.
Yeah, he fine tuned it.
This is the cipher. I murdered it. Like Jada. Like Jada knows how to do that.
Jada, a legend. What else did I have for you?
He's a legend.
I had one more thing for you.
Do you think Cass beat Hitman? I ain't talking about that.
I still didn't see the.
No, I mean nobody posted nothing.
I saw
everybody
a clip.
People I'm hearing saying that Cass won. People saying that he lost, but I don't know. They said Cass won only because Hitman wasn't Hitman. He ain't really. They said because people think Cass is like a trash battle rapper.
I read the comments and they said Cass is finally learning how to battle.
They said he was more poised, but I heard like Hitman bought Nick Cannon out, and people were just like, and like the crowd went crazy, and people was looking like, y'all think that was a win, like for bringing Nick Cannon out?
Why did he bring him out? I don't understand.
I don't know. I didn't watch it, but I'm just saying. But like he brought him on stage. I guess it was had to do something with the line. But people were just like, "Oh, you don't think Cass could have brought out Swiss or something?"
Hmm.
Like Cass could do something like that, but it was just like that wasn't a win. This was other battle rappers saying like, "Yo, that's not a win for Hitman." Like to bring the Cannon out.
But why would the audience even say that's a win? I don't. If I
I
was in
think
the
they just went.
audience
I think they just went crazy, like hype.
for Nick Cannon,
But you know how these audiences they be biased because they be for one side or the other side.
they be paid
So
off.
so so the thing about it is when Nick Cannon came out, especially this is rap and battle rap, and people clown Nick for being a whack rapper. Like, why would you bring Nick out for a battle rap thing? And it's because Hitman's on Wild and Out, so I don't know what kind of play you were trying to do with that,
Yeah, I gotta see that.
but I'm like, I mean, I've heard that he came out and I've seen clips of Nick on there, but I'm just like that wouldn't do that wouldn't like sway me if I'm in the crowd. Like, okay, Nick came out. Okay.
Do you watch Wildin' Out?
Yeah, I do.
Are you gonna watch it now that he's back?
I watched it like I haven't watched it on TV recently. Like I watch it when it comes to YouTube. But Wild and Out is like it's decent, especially when you have like
Is it?
when you have certain guests on there. I watched when Cassidy was on there. It's just like a fun little show. And it's like the only place, like one of the only places on TV where like artists can actually go on. Like they
No,
can't,
they have other places, but they got
but
canceled.
they can't go on TRL or BET or 106. Like Wild and Out is like where you can go.
There was a show called Hip Hop Squares, I think, but
Yeah, but it's not the same.
yeah,
Like
it's
Hip
not,
Hop
I think.
Squares used to come on, but they had like it's not like where artists come on. Like Nick has like artists come on.
What do you think? Do you look at that as like a hip hop show or a comedy show or a fusion?
It's a fusion.
It's
It's improv, but it's hip hop, it's comedy. Because you got battle rappers on there, you got comedians on there, you have you have a mix of people on there. So it's comedy, hip hop, improv, like all that mixed in one.
I haven't watched in a long time, but do you feel like they crossed the line and that makes the artist uncomfortable to even come on there?
Some because they do cross lines, and they
Like,
make some jokes that people don't want you to make. Like when Safari went on, they was making mad Nicki Minaj jokes and references, and so like when certain people
yeah,
come on, when
he
certain
has to
people
know
come
that.
on, but when certain people come on, like the comedians and the people on there, they're gonna
Mhm.
push the limits. Like Michael Blackson be on there. You don't think he's not gonna push limits? And Chico Bean
Yeah,
and
I
Carlos
guess
Love.
I expect that from the comedians in Safari, but I guess a normal artist like that's really trying to.
Well, if somebody's on there, like they shouldn't go on. Know your platform, because like Azalea Banks went on there, and she must not have known where she was, because they was cracking jokes on her, and she sort of got offended, and that turned
Correct,
into like a viral episode.
correct. She got.
Because DC Young Fly, like she tried to make some type of joke about him, and then he kind of roasted her,
Mm.
and it turned into something. She walked off stage and left. Um, it was a, and then she had to come back. It was a big thing.
Do you consider Wilding Out like the comic view of today?
No, because you don't get jokes off.
More in the
Like
sense that it's making the new stars.
like I don't even know if it's making them. Like he gets people on there who are already sort of known. Like Just Hilarious was already known at that point, but it was just another avenue for her to get
Was she
on.
really a member?
Yeah, she still is. Pretty V is on there. B Simone is on there. DC Young Fly is on there. Like Cat Williams was on there. Kevin
But
Hart
Cat
used to
was
be on,
already Cat after that. Even
but
Kevin Hart was like
but they were still on there. Faison Love used to be on there. Corey Holcomb used to be on there. Like as regulars
Kevin Hart was a regular.
at one point. So
Wow,
was Cat. Like Cat was a
I remember
regular.
Cat was, yeah.
Michael Blackson was a regular. Um, like it was a platform for comedians too.
You gotta have real thick skin to just be on there all day, every day, and just be a target.
right? But it just sharpens your skills because what comedians do, comedians are good at, if you're a good comedian, you're good at back and forth.
I
So,
don't necessarily agree with that because I can think of a bunch of comedians I don't think would do well.
well, let's go here real quick because did you see Donnell Rawlings recently?
Where? See him where?
Okay, you didn't see him in the news. He was on some podcast with the comedian, like where I think a comedian comes on and they do like a set, and then
Uh-huh.
like Donnell and whoever hosts this thing, like they roast the comedians or it's like something. And so this comedian started roasting Donnell Rawlings and started getting under his skin. Donnell started trying to go back at him, but the comedian sort of got the better of him, and then to the point where Donnell started sort of crying in a sense, like yo, I'm about to leave. I'm about to leave. And like, and people are saying like, yo, you can dish it, but you can't take it, sort of type of thing. So it's just like he was getting roasted. He tried to respond, and the response didn't go over well, and the dude was still roasting him. And so, and it made it viral, and people were laughing at it. But that's I'm just saying to your point, like all comedians aren't able to sort of do that back and forth, but the good ones can. The really
See, I
good
don't
ones can.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Kevin Hart can. Cat Williams can.
You
I
say
think
you say that, but Kevin Hart, I feel like comedians are sensitive people and they're serious as hell too.
they are, but I'm saying if somebody's coming at him, he can like he'll take it and he can do. I've seen him do that. Like I've seen Cat
Yeah,
do that.
they're good at snapping, but taking it personal, I've seen him take stuff personal.
No, you can take it personal, but that means that you're gonna fight back with something. Like you're gonna have to come
Like
back.
Michael Blackson, he took that. He wasn't snapping back. Like he just took it personal. like no, I have a problem. Cat Williams. Oh, I got a problem with Cat Williams.
Who?
Kevin Hart, because Cat
But
Williams
it,
spoke against whoever I forget. Tiffany
Tiffany
had.
Haddish. But it's not that I'm talking about in a one like say they were just going back and forth, not on social media, not from what someone
Yeah,
said. They would be able to like snapping, like they would be able to do it.
yeah. Steve Harvey, another one. Cat Williams did his stand up. Like, no, I'm like, yo, it's a problem. Like,
Yeah, like comedians are sensitive. Yeah, of course.
I could see Donnell around. I could see him.
But in that moment, you got to have some composure.
Yeah,
You,
you shouldn't
you,
attack
e-
if you can't take them
you
shots back.
either don't go back and forth,
Yeah,
or you just got to be prepared at any moment. As a comedian, you got to be prepared. And sometimes it's just better not to engage.
yeah, that's true. Like, I was listening to Charlie Murphy on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he said that's how he became great because he took the sledgehammer out. Like anyone that heckles, he takes the sledgehammer out and just there's no coming back from it.
Right.
And that's but again, with the black students at that university, he just ripped the check and dropped the mic. So there's gotta be a limit. you know, he is
that story was hilarious too. Um, but
unfortunate, but
no, there's a limit, but it is a thing. Like if someone's doing that to you, like it's a point where you just gotta go to sledgehammer. You gotta attack and make sure they don't want to retaliate. Like it's not like not even with jokes and stuff. People like when people do something like that. Like I'm like, all right, I'm making sure so you don't do that again. And then like they're just like, yo, Ken, why'd you do that? Or why like it wasn't that serious? Why'd you do that? I just like, you know, like you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
sometimes you have to do it so people don't take you for a joke.
yeah, you gotta
Or like we said before, some people, if you go at them, they're gonna swing on you. So I said, like, it's some, it's
you go for the
stories,
kill. You go for
it's
the
stories, but you go for the
that
kill, because I have friends, like I've had friends, and some friends, and then like they say something and they be joking, and I'm just like, yo, I took that kind of like they don't know that I take it personal, But the way I respond, they're just like, man, I'm sorry. And I'm just like, yo, it's all good. Like, it's all good. But you can't be upset at how I react.
That, that reminds me of Camron and that social media personality that cheated on his wife. Camron been going at him hard on
Who?
Instagram. The guy Derek Jackson that you were telling
Yeah,
me,
yeah, 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 yeah.
Cam been going in on him so hard. It's
Duval has too. Will Duval's been going at him too.
and, and he tried to throw the white flag like, big homie, you ain't gotta go at me like this. I ain't cheat on you. And Cam was like, nah, you wanted to talk back then? You don't know how I play. Like, I don't play like now we playing. I'm gonna keep coming at you forever. Like,
And that's what a lot of people are doing. Because Duval, I follow Duval, and he was doing the same thing when that story broke. He kept throwing out slander at this dude, and people were just like, some people were just like, take a break, and some people were just like, keep going, like destroy him, because it's just like when you're in the point where you can talk, and the way that this guy was bashing men, and not even just men, like black men, like
mm,
the way he was bashing them, like it's just like, all right, you want to act all high and mighty when you're at your lowest. I'm gonna kick you, and I'm gonna keep kicking you, so you'll never get back up again. And that's not how like you're supposed to do it, but like who cares? Like I saw Fred Hammond, he came up and he said, "Yo, I followed you, but yo, you wrote like you like I'm here if you want to talk, but I didn't like that stuff you said about my guy, because he spoke about like John Gray, Pastor John Gray, and
mhm.
like he had like a affair, or like it was like some situation with his wife, and the guy spoke out about that and named him, but it's just like don't don't throw rocks when you live in a glass house. So it's just like if you're going to keep talking and acting like you're all high and mighty, when it comes out that you ain't that person, don't be mad about the backlash.
He can't be like,
But
especially when you go at certain people.
he was posting videos that shamed men, and women believed him, and women were like and women like some women who ever believed his stuff. It's just like how somebody says something and it gets in your mind and you start
Yeah.
acting like it's gospel and the truth. So he'd be like, "Yo, how can you tell if your man's cheating and all this stuff?" And like just talking about this
Mhm.
stuff. And I'm just like, you're ruining relationships and whatnot. But you've been doing this, the same stuff that you've been talking. Like, how do you like you've been doing this?
Oh,
But I'm like, I look forward to Cam, like, and these people doing that, because
yeah.
it's
Oh man.
entertaining. And I'm just like, don't stop, keep kicking them.
Cam said, "Don't post no pictures of DMX. He didn't like your type. He don't. It was." He said, "I knew that man personally. He wouldn't get down with you."
But he's right.
He
But
didn't
right.
like your type.
But he's right.
Yeah, he is. Like, oh, that's the game he played.
But my thing is, and like we said before, Cam's Harlem, and Cam's like a different type of animal. So, and like and you knew Cam was different, but we really got like the one thing that really made me know Cam was different was when he went on Bill O'Reilly, right? Like that, when you can go on national TV
Ooh.
and do that, like that just showed me like Harlem is different from the rest of the world. Like him and Dame can go in that and really just
Wow.
do that. It's one of the most classic moments
Damn.
in television and hip hop history. But it
Don't
just
forget his
showed me
other
like,
one.
huh?
Don't forget his other moment.
No, his when I moved, would you like if a serial killer was
Yeah,
moving
the
next
Katie
door to your
Couric
house?
interview. That's
What would you do? He said, I moved. So you wouldn't call the cops? Nah. You wouldn't warn your neighbor? Nah. I mean, I moved.
yeah,
Like,
he said, "I move. I ain't trying to be living around serial killers. I'm not going to put my house." Yo, he had to know it was comedy. He
I don't I don't even know if he knew it was comedy, but it was just funny. Like
he
he
knew. He
no,
knew.
he didn't.
He
I don't think
knew.
I don't think he was joking, but he wasn't joking.
Yo, you don't think Anderson Cooper said, "Yo, cut, cut"? Like,
But why would they say cut? It was great TV. I
because
haven't
it's
seen
hard to
that
keep
clip
a
in so
straight
long.
face. It's
I
hard to
haven't
keep a
seen that.
straight
I
face.
haven't seen that clip in so long. I'm crying just thinking about it. I'm gonna go back and watch it. It's one of the most funny. It's
Because
like
he was just straight face, like, like, yo, can you do you
not
talk to
only
police? Like,
not only was he
yeah.
straight faced, it's only because she looked in awe. Like, are you serious right now? Like,
So one interview was Anderson, one was Bill O'Reilly. I swear he had Katie Couric.
was it that same one?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know, but I just know Cam. He's a like he's not going to stop.
To keep a straight face is
Do you know how many times he said you mad? He's not going to stop.
that's oh. That's,
It's classic.
with the comedy, you gotta say he's a genius when it comes to certain things. Like he should do more comedy.
He's a like what they say about the rappers in the '90s and like the early 2000s. Like they said, they weren't just rappers; they were personalities. Like Cam, you see with Nori, DMX,
Yeah,
like they're personalities. And like Cam is funny as much as like,
he is
and
funny.
he's funny, and it's funny only because it's ignorant. Like when you see Cam spit in the little girl's face, it's funny, but you just like, man, that's ignorant.
It's not ignorant though. You can't really call it ignorant when you look at the full picture.
When you look at the full picture of the story, he just like, man, I like, yeah, do I take his little girl? I can't kill this little girl. So I thought of the next best thing I could do.
Yeah, exactly. Because his niece was killed, so
Yeah, yeah,
that was
yeah.
his retaliation. So
His
you're
niece
like,
was
okay,
curled, so he just like, no, I can't kill this little girl. Yeah,
so he's
yeah,
still dead wrong, but compared to the alternative,
right.
and
So
that's
I
what
mean, yeah. Thanks for
it's
giving
some
the
sense there. It's
thanks
sense
for giving the background, because yeah, like it
because it
sounded
was
crazy
still.
when I said it at first. Like, yeah, he just spit in the little girl's face.
And that's what the interview with Anderson Cooper is like. You asking me these dumb questions, and so I'm gonna answer you in a dumb way. Like, yeah, I
But
wouldn't
he
tell nobody, but I'm not gonna stay. I'm gonna move.
but he didn't answer in a dumb way. He answered in an honest way, for real, for real.
Anderson
If it's
tried to
a
turn the
if it's
question.
a if it's a serial killer and they killing people, you're gonna risk telling other people and getting caught and being a victim. You're gonna get out of there as quiet as possible.
He said, it's not good for my health. I don't because they tried to do that. That's what they try to do. Try to catch you in the question. And he's like, you're not going to catch me. And
Right.
he's like, do you ever think it's okay to talk to police? Yeah, sure. Say good morning.
How you
Hello.
doing? Good.
Like you going to ask me a dumb question, and I told you I don't mess with police. So I'm gonna give you a dumb
I forgot about that part.
like, yeah, how you doing? Period. That's it. Like
Yo, Cam's hilarious for real.
that was. I don't know how Anderson would keep a straight face.
Because I like, but you got to look at it too with people that are not in the culture, like, and they don't know Cam. They're just looking at him as a rapper and coming on. My thing is, why did they even have Cam on in the first place? Like, why did they bring him on?
Because they want him to look stupid. That's
And they wanted Dame to look stupid too when they brought him on, and they couldn't make them look stupid because I don't like, and they might not know because they might not know, but Harlem is different. Harlem is just different.
that's why they even agreed to be on the show because they knew it was a trap, but like, oh, we gonna go and we gonna make some noise. Like,
Well, especially Bill O'Reilly, people knew what he was about at that time.
yeah, because he was known for shutting up his guests and just speaking like turning down the mic and all of that.
He was known against going against rappers too. Like like Ludacris, shout out to Bill O'Reilly, like Jay,
Yeah,
like like none of them liked him.
and they went on there like we just gonna make the teacher that was the real victim.
Oh my god.
He was
I gotta go back and watch this because
he was
like I
probably
forgot
fired.
he was on there.
They only went at him that hard because of Bill O'Reilly, because they were on that platform.
And he was a black teacher.
Yeah.
Like,
He didn't know what it was going to be, but he should have known. He
it
should
was
have known better.
it was just pure ignorance.
To go on Bill O'Reilly, you already know that this isn't.
But why was that teacher on Bill O'Reilly? Like, why did Bill O'Reilly bring him when?
I'm sure they told him like, you can state, your opinion on hip hop and why you the negative aspect. They set him up.
But my thing is, why is he saying negative things about hip hop?
I
Like,
gotta watch it.
I'm just
Yeah.
telling you the type of person that Bill O'Reilly was going to bring on the show. Like, you can sort of get a guess of like that type of person. And it was a black person, so you sort of knew what type of person that was. And so you're gonna bring somebody who's anti-rapper to a segment with rappers, and not any rappers. It's not like you have maybe a Jay who can,
Talib or Common.
or someone who's gonna try to have a conversation and articulate with you. Like Dame tried to have a conversation at first until it's just like, all right, I see where you're going with this.
You're not going to go there.
And then Cam is just like that like the great like hype man, because Dame was still trying to talk to the teacher and all that stuff, but Cam was the
He shut it down. That was a great moment in hip hop history, like that in Black history. That's just
that was
that was a good moment. Like,
I mean, we could say it's a good moment. That could also be one of them when keeping it real goes wrong moments too.
for who? For the teacher?
Just I don't know.
Everyone won but the teacher in that situation. His kids clowned him the next school day.
Oh, his school kids?
Yeah.
Oh, he would out. Oh, he would have had to quit as a teacher.
You mad? You mad?
No, as a
You
teacher,
mad?
you couldn't be a teacher anymore, or you have to switch schools. Like you couldn't be a teacher anymore at that same school.
That's why he was a victim.
Especially if he was a public school, like and he was teaching black kids, and they saw and they watched that interview. Like, yeah, I couldn't be a teacher no more. You would have lost the respect of your student. Because I know the type of schools I used to go to, and I think about some of the kids there. I'm like, you wouldn't have been able to survive.
Unfortunate. He got set up. He should have never went on there.
Yeah.
I think he went on with good intentions. Maybe he didn't even go on like anti-hip hop. He thought it was just going to be a discussion.
But his whole mindset was anti-hip hop.
Was it? Was
it? It was. He was just like, yo. He was just like, all my students, they listen to your music. You need to be a better role model or whatever to this. And it's just like when you come on the attack like that, it's just like, yo, you already starting off defensive.
Dame said, I am a role model. I got a job. He's out teaching them how to be entrepreneurs. Yo, we got our own, like.
And you can't argue with what Dame said either.
We teaching them how to get out. Like
you can't argue with that.
You can't.
As much as people want to say they bad role, like they showing you a way out.
Yeah. And Ken was like, yo, I'll come down to the school and speak with the kids if you would like. Yo, they just came at that man's whole life for no reason.
It's not for no reason. He brought it upon himself. Like if I'm on there, like, and it's the thing, you gotta know your audience. You gotta know who you're talking to. Like that's why in certain situations, if I'm in a group discussion or something, like you wait and you listen out and you respond. Like you don't always respond to everything. Like he didn't have to respond the way he responded. He came on with a set point that he wanted to make, and then when it went left, it went left.
You think Dame was like headed up to Fox like, yo, Cam, come on, yo, they're gonna try to scream on us.
Cam's a good backup man to have.
He is.
Like Cam's a good backup man to have. it was great entertainment. Like it's 15 years later, and I can still laugh at that.
Yo, it's comedy. It's comedy.